G'day Bomber fans, some bad news for you this week. I'm sure most of you already know by now that Jaiden Hunter has officially been placed on the injury list. He went in for scans after injuring his knee yesterday and it's been announced it's another ruptured ACL. I was just hyping up how small our injury list was in a video the other day and how fit the squad was. But unfortunately Jaiden will most likely miss out on the entire 2024 season. This injury has not only derailed his year, but realistically it's probably derailed his career as well. So today I'm just going to talk about what this all means for young Jaiden, what it means for the team, and highlight some other injury updates as well. Alright, so yesterday morning, Jaiden Hunter went up for a marking contest and came down clutching his knee. Apparently, that's what those who saw the event take place are saying. I didn't see it firsthand. This comes after Hunter signed a one-year deal with us late last year, despite suffering a season-ending stress fracture mere days after being drafted in the mid-season draft by us. Hunter came over to us from the Waffle, where he was putting together a really promising season. He has skills, we all know this. He kicked 4 goals in just his second VFL game for us. He didn't even play after that because he had that stress fracture, I think a few days after that game. But unfortunately for Jaiden and for our forward line, his body just always seems to let him down. Before his back stress fracture, he'd actually had knee problems. He'd ruptured his ACL before in the past. So for it to happen again, it's a cruel blow, especially because we were finally seeing him fit. We were hopefully going to see him feature across the VFL and maybe even push for an AFL spot ahead of Jones and Wiedemann if all went well. He put in so much work this preseason, but now it seems super unlikely that he'll ever play for us again. I know some will say I'm jumping the gun in saying that. I'm just being realistic. I think this knee injury spells the end for Hunter and his AFL journey, or at least his Essendon journey. Hunter is 21 years old, turning 22, yet to play an AFL game. ACL injuries usually take a little under a year to fully recover from, so that's him done for 2024. I think it's really not likely for a player on a one-year contract already to receive a new deal if they were to miss an entire season with injury. I think realistically, Hunter was one of the players most likely to be out the door and get delisted at the end of the season anyway. Obviously, things could have changed. He could have come out of nowhere to play regular senior footy, but if we had to make a call right now, he'd be one of the ones out the door, even without the injury. It's not unreasonable to suggest that, but I think the more frustrating thing about this whole situation is the fact that he hasn't really had the chance to prove himself. It's not really feasible to keep him on the list if he keeps getting injured and he's never available, but it doesn't seem fair to the young man that he'll just never be able to show what he's worth to the coaches, to us fans. There's potential, we've seen it firsthand, but unfortunately his body just doesn't seem to agree with that. Hunter is now the leading candidate to face a delisting at the end of the year. We all know this, and you can't really blame Scott and Rosa if that's the case. It's especially harder for him now because we have young Nate Caddy waiting in the wings. We have key forward depth now. Last year we had Voss and Hunter outside the team, unable to make their way in. Jones, sorry, not Hunter. This year we got more talent in that area. I just don't see a world where Hunter is given a contract for 2025 after this, unfortunately. I really do hope I can be proven wrong though. I've seen an online narrative bringing up Voss, I guess, acting as if we made a mistake delisting him after this. I still think it's the right decision. I see more in Hunter than Voss, even if his body lets him down. I don't think Voss is an AFL player from what we saw. He was great in the Rezzies, but not really able to go much further from there. He never seemed able to go to that next level. He is training with Freo for a list spot now, so hopefully he gets another shot. I love seeing Essendon players succeed, even at new clubs, but I still think Hunter was the right choice for us to keep over Voss, because it was between the two of them for that last list spot, as we know. And now, unfortunately, though, we won't really see either of them feature for us, I'd say, highlighting our inability to draft good key positional players outside of the first round of the draft. I know this Hunter situation is a bit different, but we do struggle to really grab those diamonds in the rough. Think back to players like Josh Eyre and Cody Brand recently, who never amounted to anything either. Hunter and Voss are just a couple more that we've had a punt on, but couldn't even manage a game out of. But more importantly, I think we're all just hoping Hunter is okay out of this. It's one thing to do your knee, it's another thing to do it multiple times, right after being given a chance at your dream. More than anything, I think we all hope for a speedy recovery so he can give AFL another crack, whether at Essendon or somewhere else. He seems like a good young man, it's just a really unfortunate injury. So what does this mean for the team itself? Hunter really wasn't set to be a big part of our 2024 season, so not too much. I was more hoping to see him break into that the AFL team through the VFL, maybe string 1 or 2 games together to get another contract, but For the AFL team itself, it doesn't change too much. It takes away some depth, sure, but nothing really to our current plans. It does mean Hunter will be placed on the long-term injury list, which will open up a spot for us in the mid-season rookie draft. A bit of cruel irony considering that's how we added Hunter to the list through the mid-season rookie draft last year. So I guess that's a tiny silver lining out of this disaster, really. Some other injury news to discuss. Sam Draper is really ramping up his running. I think we're set to see him in full training soon, I hope at least. I was doubting him being ready for round 1 a while ago, but it could be the case now if he keeps this up. If not round 1, then not long after. He just looks fit, and I guess all we need to do is see how he goes with contact and match sim. Sam Wiedemann's in the same boat. His running loads are pretty heavy right now, which is ideal. I know how much you guys love Sam Wiedemann. So it's mostly good news on the injury front, bar Hunter. Dersmer's back training after his long break. The other boys are all in good nick. There are a couple of others in rehab actually that don't look as good. Tex Wangadine won't be seen in main training for a while. Dylan Shield has started running. The intensity is not that high compared to Draper and Wiedemann. He's only just started a bit of jogging on the sidelines, but we will hopefully see him back in full training before the season starts. He's a long way off now though. That's all though. Unfortunate way to start the week. Wishing all the best for Hunter and his AFL journey. Would love to see him back on the track as soon as possible, whether at Essendon or another club. But that's all. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe to stay updated with all Essendon news, and go Bombers.